Welcome back to Real Phonies, where we take a love for movies and television and combine it with very little knowledge about movies and television. I'm your host, Christian. Joined with me, as always, are my co-host, Joseph.
Hello.
Ian.
What up?
And Jehio. After taking some time to celebrate Thanksgiving with our families, we're here to talk about the latest family adventure to hit theaters, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
It's funny you say that because the first thing Val asked me is it like an adult movie? Is like, it's not, I guess not really. It's not, I don't know what it is. I guess it's just a general like family friendly film.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Joseph, do you want to give us a synopsis since you're the most recent viewer?
I also want to preface with this. It's something that's going to come up as we go on in this episode, I think, is that I don't remember much about the original Ghostbusters, and I don't have any warm feelings towards it. But the story, as I saw it, was a small family of a mother and her precocious scientific daughter and normal teenage son are evicted from their house and move into an old scary mansion-y thing in a small town that she inherited when her her father, who she didn't really know, left it to her when he died. And then spooky ghost spirit things happen and they have to fight them with Paul Rudd. And that's this movie. Oh, and then there might be 3 to 4 old guys that are relevant very late in the game.
You, in your description, maybe like most got into my problems with this movie. It's like, it took you longer to get to the ghosts in your synopsis of this movie than Ghostbusters, the original movie, took to get to the ghosts.
So, I mean, on that's a good note then. Hurt, how did you feel about this movie?
Man, I maybe need like a fucking safe word or something to talk about this movie. I'm just so irate. My most of what I'm going to have to say in this podcast is an impassioned plea to let's stop fucking making Ghostbusters movies. Nobody gets it. Nobody understands what was cool about that fucking movie. So let's just stop.
I think I had the opposite reaction. I thought it was a good sequel. I liked it more than Ghostbusters 2, definitely, and definitely the female Ghostbusters movie.
Lady Ghostbusters. Don't you dare back down from that now. That is officially what it's called in this podcast.
Yeah, Lady Ghostbusters. I mean, to me, it reminded me of Force Awakens. It was the Force Awakens of Ghostbusters. They remade the first movie with, a younger cast, and I thought to frame the movie around Egon Spengler was correct. Thought that was the way to go. I don't know about choices they make late in the movie because I don't know, and we'll talk about that. Spoilers. There are things I question whether certain people would have agreed upon what they did.
For
but
sure.
I do think to frame it around him, to remake the first movie basically, but it felt fresh. And the big thing I think that I want to make known is I thought that girl is fucking incredible. She played Harold Ramis it was him. You know what I mean? Like, she got him. I thought she did a really good job. I thought that kid podcast was hilarious. Paul Rudd was good. I could see where Hurt was saying. I don't know if it necessarily recaptures what Ghostbusters maybe was, but I thought to remake the movie modern times with the new cast, it's about as good as you could have ever hoped for, in my opinion.
And I'm just so glad you gave me this layup because I really wanted someone to compare it to Force Awakens because I know that's going to be the go-to thing with this, and it's nothing like Force Awakens. Force Awakens is like, whether you think it was good or not, or even like an independent property, it has the same ratio of adventure to feels to sort of mythology that the original one did. This is nothing like the original. Way back when, and I know this wasn't an original thought when I said it probably, but I said this movie was probably greenlit like 30 seconds after those kids showed up on Stranger Things wearing the Ghostbusters outfit.
And then didn't come out until 30 years later, apparently.
I mean, man, this was just Stranger Things found Ghostbusters stuff. Like I
don't know. I mean, I thought they redid the first one good. I mean, I don't see it that way, but I want to make, I don't think this movie will hold up well because I like Force Awakens at first, but in hindsight, it's just the same movie. And I thought this is kind of similar. I don't know if I'll like this in 5 years.
Yeah.
But I agree. You know, I know you have your own take on that. That's my only thought. I don't know if it'll hold up well, but I liked it walking out of the theater.
As I mentioned up top, I have absolutely no affection for this franchise, and I'm not even sure that I've seen the original all the way through as God intended.
What
the fuck you?
Fuck you,
keep that
Joseph.
to yourself. I wouldn't.
I've seen the first half at least once, and the second half like 3 or 4 times. But as just a movie, I thought it was fine. Like I thought, like Ian said, the kids are good. I thought the performances in general are good. I think it's well written. If it's not necessarily like funny, if that makes sense. I generally just thought it was like, I don't know, a fun little family adventure movie up until about the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So
First of all, I just can't wait to hear, because I know that you probably care more about Ghostbusters than any of us. Like, it's like your favorite movie, right?
Yeah, Ghostbusters 1's my all-time favorite film. I've seen it more times than I've watched anything else. And it's amazing, as much as I love it, how indifferent I am to this movie. So I want to piggyback on 2 things. And this is I feel like I have a complicated relationship with Afterlife after only watching it once. Is it possible to hate decisions but be okay with how they presented them? Because that's how I feel about this movie, which is like, to Ian's point, I do think they kind of take the Force Awakens model of, we're reintroducing it to a new generation. It's a younger crowd. We're going to do the same plot-ish as the first movie. I hate that decision. I think that was an awful, awful choice. Having said that, spoilers for, the end of this movie, but it's very similar to the end of the first film. And I think they present it well. Like, I think they do a good job with it. Just creatively, I think it was a horrible, lazy decision. Ghostbusters as a movie, I saw it as a kid, but I'm not ready to show it to my kids. My favorite line in that movie is, "It's true, Your Honor, this man has no dick."
Of course.
It's a great line. It's not appropriate for kids. It makes it sound like the movie is a dirty comedy, and it's not that. There's nothing like this in this movie that captures that kind of humor and tone. And I hate that it's a family adventure movie, but I think they do a pretty good job with making a family adventure movie. If this wasn't Ghostbusters, I probably would really appreciate that we're kind of getting this found family adventure film. I just don't like that it's in a Ghostbusters movie. And I get that that's probably preference, but I think if you're going to make something, especially something that's supposed to be an ode, which is what I really feel like this is kind of Jason Reitman's love letter to what his dad made 35 years ago, you should honor that thing. And I don't know that this really honors it. Having said that, I think they kill it with what they do for Harold Ramis. I mean, I don't think you could have done that any better. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really indifferent to it.
I don't know. I have like a log jam of thoughts about what things I dislike about this movie. I know some people say that there's things about the first one that shouldn't have worked, but I think that the first one, those things are exactly why it did work. The fact that there's no real sympathetic characters, the fact that that it's really sort of, they do nothing in that movie. That movie's just funny people doing funny things and cool special effects. And there's nothing in that movie to get in the way of that. And, Lady Ghostbusters and this too just do not get that. With Lady Ghostbusters, the problem was too much exposition. And the problem with this is too much feels. And also, I know you guys all said you liked the kids. I don't know that I liked the kids.
Ooh.
Yeah, I thought the kids all did great. Even the Stranger Things kid.
No, I disagree there. I think McKenna Grace was great. I'll go a step further. I hated Paul Rudd in this movie. I thought he was awful.
This is the last episode of this podcast.
By the way, it's not. When we get into spoilers, I'll talk about it.
Sexiest man alive.
When we get into spoilers, I'll talk about it. It's more so maybe what they do with that character versus his portrayal, but couldn't stand him. And Finn Wolfhard, that kid if it weren't for Stranger Things, would he actually be famous? I don't think so.
Ben, this next part may be shit you have to cut out after I say it, but I just need to say it. There's something about Finn Wolfhard that just looks like he masturbates too much.
Oh, 100%. Totally agree.
It just looks like the second he turned 12, it was knock on the door before you enter any room. And the other kid, she probably was fine. I'm just so sick of autism as a superpower.
I don't know. I think she nailed Egon. I really do. I mean, I'll stand on that hill. Like, I think she is a movie star. You know, she's been in the Haunting of Hill House show too. So I think she's a come up person. I really do. I think she steals that movie.
Yeah, I think she's the best part of the movie.
That was going to be my comment, is that, you know, I feel like this time, specifically right now time, when it's hard to look at the state of where things are and say that we're making consistent progress in any one particular direction. It's nice to know that we have actually cracked the code on child actors. It's done. We've done it.
Yeah. I probably had way too high expectations for this film, but I actually don't think that's true. I kind of anticipated to hate it, but it's just really weird for me to just have a Ghostbusters movie where I'm like, yeah, it exists. So like, you know, this is probably the closest to Transformers. I'll give it better than Transformers off McKenna Grace. Other than that, I'd probably go, yeah, I'm slightly better than Transformers.
Yeah, I was better than Transformers for me. Like I said, the only qualm I have is the spoilers thing, is what they do with a certain character and they bring back, which I don't know if that was, I don't know if you would have wanted that. And
yeah.
I'll just leave
we will get into that more for sure. I'm going to say better than Transformers, mostly just because shorter than Transformers, but I will say fuck them for putting an after all the way credit scene. Eat shit.
Dude,
you haven't earned that.
There's an after credit scene?
There is.
There's two after credit scenes.
Okay, I saw the one with Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver. I have not seen another after credit.
It's worse, so don't watch it anyway.
Yeah, I'm definitely going worse than Transformers, and I'm also going Transformers, because I don't think this movie was Force Awakens. I think it was Transformers. Like, I think that was the structure it chose, and it was worse at doing that.
Actually, you know what? It might be similar to Transformers in that it takes a really long time to get into the Transformers and Transformers 2.
They're kind of embarrassed by it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
You also got a teenage boy in the middle of it who does appear to want to masturbate too much.
100%. When did you and I switch roles on this podcast? I feel like I've been better than Transformers pretty consistently the last, I don't know, month or two, and you've been hating on things lately.
Yeah, I'm just crabby, I guess. I don't know. This movie made me crabby.
So spoilers. I would like to defend my Paul Rudd stance, which is that we see, and I don't know the spoilers because we see it in the trailer, but there are obviously demon dogs in this movie. And again, I don't even think it's a spoiler to talk about Gozer and Zool and all that coming back.
Right.
Because again, we saw demon dogs in the trailer. This movie absolutely shits on that part of Ghostbusters. Like, it makes it out to be a joke. But here's the thing about Ghostbusters, right? So to go back in time, Dan Aykroyd is fucking crazy. Like, he believes in every conspiracy theory on the planet.
Right.
100% into, Loch Ness, aliens, fucking Bigfoot, Skinwalker Ranch. He's in on all of it. And so he wrote a passion project movie, essentially, that's all about paranormal shit, which is Ghostbusters. But it has jokes in it because Dan Aykroyd at one time was a funny guy.
Right.
And so it wasn't written as a comedy. It was written as a comedic guy who loves paranormal shit. And so when you get to the demon dog moment in Ghostbusters 1 with Sigourney Weaver, that shit's legitimately freaky. Like, that possession scene with her and Bill Murray, the jokes stop. Other than Bill Murray, like, making jokes to be comfortable in the situation that he's in, but it plays it 100% serious. This movie shits all over that.
Right.
The moment they're possessed by demon dogs, it's nothing but a gag. and gimmicks. And I really fucking hated that decision. Like a whole lot. Like them being like, well, it's time to bone now. Like,
Right.
yeah, we knew that Sigourney Weaver had sex with a dude who's 2 feet shorter and significantly nerdier than her in that first movie. We know that. But I don't need a joke. I don't need it to become a gag. I bought it as legitimately scary the first time. And for this to play it as just comedic relief, it felt more like a parody of Ghostbusters than it felt like honoring Ghostbusters.
And also, that's the point when they decide to make a joke.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, Christian, because again, I don't remember that much about Ghostbusters. The thing that I remember about it, one, is that it was funny, and two, that it was surprisingly had genuinely scary moments for what's remembered as a comedy. And this movie doesn't really have much of either.
Yeah.
I mean, man, when everybody shows up at the end, it should be cool, but it really isn't.
Oh, that's another thing. This is where I hate it being a family-friendly movie. And again, we may have to cut this, but classic Venkman in that moment. The first word you would have heard out of his mouth would be like, "This bitch."
Right. Exactly. Totally.
And we don't get that. That is what's wrong with this film. Like, it's supposed to be kind of vulgar in the way these funny dudes deal with these crazy situations. And this is not that. This is a family adventure movie that The Rock probably should have been in.
You know, the thing is with Ghostbusters, the original, yeah, it wasn't a kid's movie, but man, when I was a kid, I sure did want to see it. And it was right on that edge where I could get away with it. You'd still hear like, "This bitch," but for the most part, it was okay. This just being a kid's movie, I just don't understand how they don't understand what made Ghostbusters cool. That's a hard X factor to explain, but they don't get why that movie was cool. They definitely don't present that here.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm curious to hear, Ian, your opinion on the Harold Ramis bit, because I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. I thought they did a pretty good job with it, and I feel like he would be pretty in on the joke of him becoming a ghost. That's
Right.
just me personally, but I'd be curious to hear why you think he'd be against it.
Well, I'm kind of curious about that too, because I don't really follow it. But wasn't there like a falling out between several of the guys, the original Ghostbusters, in years later?
The big one is Bill Murray just refused to do it.
Yeah.
They all had to agree to a sequel to do a sequel, and Bill Murray didn't want to do a sequel.
Gotcha.
But no, I don't know if he wanted to do it or not. I just think it's a little. I mean, this script was written way after he was dead, so to just make someone a ghost after they're dead, just think it's an interesting choice. I don't know if he would have wanted it or not, but it just felt a little odd to me. I think you could have just left him as the invisible ghost. Like, we understood the whole movie that he was a ghost.
Yeah.
Did we need to see him as a ghost? I don't know. That was the only thing I agree that the old guys coming back, I don't know if he needed it, but it didn't work for me as well as I think it could have. But I kind of liked the end part. I liked that he had set up like the proton trap to keep that in, like, all the ghosts in the mountain. Thought that was a cool bit. I liked the car chase scene. Instead of Slimer, the guy who eats metal, I thought that whole scene with like the Ecto one in the whole little town, I thought that worked.
Do you still like it knowing that Josh Gad was that character?
Yeah, fuck. I like that. Fuck with Josh Gad. He's Olaf. Fuck you. I thought Olivia Wilde as Gozard, right?
Gozer, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that worked cool. And then who was
I didn't even know that was who that was.
Yeah, it's
J.K.
Olivia
Simmons?
Wilde. Yes, J.K.
Yeah, J.K.
Simmons
Simmons.
is Ivor Shandor or
I knew
Ivor
that.
Shandor or whatever, and then Olivia Wilde is Gozer.
I thought that worked. I thought that looked like Sigourney Weaver as that character.
Well, Sigourney Weaver did not play that character in the original. Just throwing
Really?
that out. Yeah, she was a demon dog. She was
well,
a
it
dog
looked-
at that point.
Well, it looked like the original, Gozer. So I don't know. I don't think Harold Ramis. I don't know. Would you want to be a ghost in a movie? I don't know. After you're dead,
It's
just a
not. It's
weird-
not the being the ghost. I think that was the problem, because, like you said, I think it was fine for him to be like helping from the background, but it's like the like actual CGI animation of what old man Harold Ramis looks like, and everybody gets to do their weird little goodbyes at the end, and he just has to sit there and nod at them from the spirit world with his weird little CGI face. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Like, this is the strangest fucking interaction on Earth.
Well, Two things. First of all, if the ghost of Harold Ramis did show up right then, I feel like he would have said, hey, where's the fucking jokes? Surely there's something funny to be said in this, so it's not just a weird mopey staring at a CGI thing. Second of all, I mean, you guys know I never try to find holes in plots. I don't want to find the problem in anything I'm enjoying. How the fuck does the Traps know the difference between an evil ghost and a good ghost?
I thought that too. Why did he get sucked up in there?
Right.
Yeah. I feel like the ghost bit is handled pretty well. Like, I think it's the only thing I like really could compare it to is Peter Cushing in Rogue One, which is that this is a character this dead guy played that we've brought back fully CGI. Not even him as a person. We've just brought back a character he played, which I guess, you can make an argument you think is less offensive. I think in this moment, it's almost like the cast and the audience getting to say goodbye to Harold Ramis, and getting to say goodbye to Egon, but just as much as it is getting to say goodbye to Egon. And I thought that moment worked pretty well. I do have a real issue about the lack of jokes, though, especially if you're making Egon the main character, because I get it. Egon's not the funny character of the OG movies. However, Harold Ramis is a fucking hilarious dude. Right. And there are so many, and for me personally, this is the generation of movies I grew up on. This is what I know comedy is, but Caddyshack, fucking Harold Ramis, Stripes, Harold Ramis, fucking Ghostbusters, Harold Ramis, and those other films, he directed. So he is so much more of a physical, comedic, situational guy than just a dude telling jokes like Bill Murray is. And I didn't get that in this film. I didn't get the spirit of Harold Ramis, I guess, in this movie. I feel like I'm shitting on it a lot. It was okay. It just didn't feel like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I thought the podcast guy had jokes. I thought the girl who was, Egon's granddaughter had jokes. I mean, I don't know if you can do slapstick 80s now. You can't have Dan Aykroyd jerking off to a goat or getting his dick sucked by a ghost. I just don't think you can do that anymore. I think it's different. It's a more modernized take on the original. And you guys, I think, hate it because it's not what you wanted it to be. But I don't think it's a bad movie.
See, I mean, I don't feel like I'm saying I hate it. I just think it's, I said, I think the decisions they made were not good decisions. I think they handled them well. I'm just not sure they were good. Why does it have to be Gozer? What about this plot dictates that it has to be Gozer at the end? Why couldn't it have been literally anybody else?
Ooh, I tell you another thing I wanted to bitch about, and this is bringing back stuff from the original. They shouldn't have used so much of the original music. It does not work in this. That sort of dicking around theme, the do, I can't even do it really. But it is such dicking around in New York. It does not work dicking around on a farm.
Yeah, I would say also the problem with that there is the musical cues are so similar to the musical cues in Ghostbusters 1. They spoil everything in this film.
Right.
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I will say, can we just go ahead and replace Dave Chappelle with Bokeem Woodbine? I don't know if Bokeem Woodbine is funny, but neither is Dave Chappelle anymore. So I feel like this is a good swap.
That was another thing I wanted to bitch out. How do you have a cool guy like fucking Bokeem Woodbine show up and not fucking use him?
That's actually a great point. He is a one scene thing, and it's not even a fun scene.
And he is so much better of an actor than to deserve one scene in this movie.
I'm trying to think of what I liked in it. I did like that they didn't try to update the special effects on the ghosts and stuff. They tried to pretty much make it look the same. I liked the after credit scene with Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray. I wish the whole movie would have been that.
That is the most Ghostbusters moment in the whole movie.
Totally.
Ian, for your essay, the last one is we find out that the old hook and ladder station is not a Starbucks, and they move Ecto 1 into it. It's all beat up and trashed and everything. But then the red containment center in the basement, the Twinkie, the light is blinking red on it. So
the ghosts are getting out.
Yeah. And Jason Reitman said that Oh my gosh, what's his name from the fucking painting? Definitely up for the sequel character. And dear God, please don't. It wasn't good the first time. Yeah. Vigo the Carpathian. It wasn't good the first time. Don't do it again.
Don't remake Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, why would you I don't even know, man. I don't.
Yeah, I read an article though. He's not going to do another one. He wants other people to make a Ghostbuster movie, new voices. That's what.
Yeah,
it definitely. This headline. I didn't read the article.
This one definitely sets up for there to be more that are canon, but don't necessarily have to be a part of this trilogy, I guess.
See, hold on. I think this ignores Ghostbusters 2. There's nothing in this movie that says Ghostbusters 2 ever happened. When they Google the YouTube stuff, it is Ghostbusters 1. In my mind, walking out of that, this takes Ghostbusters 2 out of canon, and it does like the Halloween Kills, where it's just like it's a direct sequel to the first one. And I think
got the same feeling.
Ghostbusters 2 never happened. I think that's what I thought out of this movie.
I don't know if it was intentional, but that's definitely the feeling they left me with.
Because like when they said they all broke up and like they did such a good job and that, they broke up because of that, like they didn't go broke. It didn't seem like New York had banned them. Like I think all that Ghostbusters 2 shit they threw out the window, but I don't know if that's actually what happened or that was just my impression.
I mean, they definitely do that, but Raise a Cult is in this movie and that's from Ghostbusters 2.
Just how much happier we would be right now if this movie was Ray was working in Raise a Cult and he got a call from Egon's granddaughter, and then the movie was him convincing the other two guys to go save her.
Yeah, way better film.
I mean, I don't even know if that needs to be the whole movie. I mean, I guess I don't know how you'd split it up, but definitely
some of the movie.
Well, exactly. I think a big part of why the big reveal in the final act of the original Ghostbusters coming back is they weren't involved in any way up until that point. So it just feels very out of left field just because they're supposed to be there. Whereas, like you say, if you had put that as part of the story, I think it would have felt more, I don't know, just like the same scenes would have felt more satisfying.
I mean, I will throw this out there that I had the realization in this movie that I wasn't sure Dan Aykroyd could ever act. Because he is really bad in the 5 minutes he is in this movie.
Yeah, he is. I don't think he could ever act. I think you're right on that.
I mean, Jane, Your Ignorant Slut is a pretty classic moment, and there's some acting there. The Bassmaster, that's a great. There's a great Saturday Night Live moments, but maybe that was it. Maybe it was that and Ghostbusters 1, and Dan lost it after that.
Yeah.
Wish I liked this more.
I'm sorry you don't, buddy.
I wish I liked it at all.
Yeah, I feel bad, Jones. I wish you liked it more, too.
I'll watch it again, but probably in 2 years or something.
I will say, if there's a fourth Ghostbusters movie, when you guys go watch it, I will watch the first one and I'll talk about that on the podcast.
Love it.
Unless, and I've not even heard these guys' names in the running, but if they gave this property to Rob McElway, Glenn Howerton, and Charlie Day, if they gave it to Sonny, those guys could make a Ghostbusters movie.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see that too.
Yep.
All right. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Sent to the afterlife. I don't feel good about that. What have we been watching this past week? Actually, 2 weeks, I guess, guys.
I have quite a bit to talk about, actually, but I will save it to the top 3 things. I'll sprinkle the other things.
Wow.
Because I'm back at work now, and I don't have a job, really, so I watch shit again. The first thing I'm going to talk about is Red Notice. And this movie's fine.
I watched Red Notice, too.
It's kind of dumb, but it's okay. It's very, rides entirely off The Rock and Ryan Reynolds' charisma. But it's fine. It deserves to exist.
I liked it. Ryan Reynolds tells a joke that The Rock's head looks like a penis, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, man. I don't know if that guy just wants to play Wade Wilson forever, but that's all he will from here on out.
I found this thing that works, and I'm going to do that thing.
Yeah, he is into it.
He's very Deadpool in this movie. I liked Gal Gadot as a villain, too. I thought she was really good in this. There's a big twist at the end. Kate and I saw it coming. Yeah, oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, I don't know. It's fine. If you're bored, you want to watch something with your spouse, that's a go-to. I watched Tick, Tick, Boom. Guys, I fucking love this movie. This is my favorite movie of the year so far. I have a feeling West Side Story probably will take it, but Yeah, Andrew Garfield better win Best Actor. He's so good as Jonathan Larson in this movie. For those unfamiliar, Jonathan Larson wrote Rent, very famously died the night that Rent premiered. So he never actually saw his own show. He tried to get, he was a product of Stephen Sondheim was his mentor. He wrote this musical called Suburbia, and it never got picked up. And it kind of broke him. And so in 5 years, he wrote 2 other musicals, Tick, Tick, Boom, which was a kind of self biography musical thing that he would perform. And then he wrote Rent, which he did not get to see. But God, Andrew Garfield is so freaking good in this movie. And it's really, really relatable because the point of Tick, Tick, Boom is the most 20 something emotion possible, which is that if you don't accomplish anything by the time you're 30, then you're a failure. And yeah, I really related to that because I absolutely thought that when I was in my 20s. And yeah, God, he's so good. He's super charming, super likable. Even when he's being a jerk to everyone else, you're still rooting for him. Andrew Garfield, I think, has this like awkward, playful kind of root for charisma about him. Like every role he's in, you're kind of pulling for that guy. And it's just on full display here. Soundtrack's great. Lin-Manuel Miranda knocked it out of the park. First directorial debut. I think everyone should watch it. Way better than Transformers.
He's been a busy boy, Lin.
Very busy. He's got Encanto that just came out as well.
Yep.
Me and Sarah have been about to watch this all week, so the recommendation will probably push us over the edge.
Yeah, I liked it a whole lot. And then finally, I watched Cowboy Bebop.
Oh boy.
Listen, there are things that I think are pretty good about this show, and then there are things I think are terrible. But the thing that it really, the struggle that this show has with adapting anime and adapting what is arguably the most famous, most well-liked anime of all time is that anime conceptually never works when you say it out loud. Like if you ask me what any anime is about, when I tell you the plot, you're going to go, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard on the planet. And this is actually kind of true for Cowboy Bebop as well, which is that you have the super cool guy who is a bounty hunter in space, who has this mysterious past he's running from. When it comes back to haunt him, he has to address it. But the problem is that's not really the plot of Cowboy Bebop, because that's present throughout the show, but it's kind of just one-off stories of these characters. And, you know, they get high on mushrooms and they capture a guy who stole a dog. They murder a pregnant woman in space. People turn into trees. It's weird. Weird shit happens in it. And so they do all those things in this show, and it kind of, where in Cowboy Bebop, the anime plays it cool and it feels cool. It does not feel cool in live action. It seems cheesy and dumb, and they kind of play it as cheesy and dumb. The biggest thing I disliked greatly, and I think I'm in the minority on this on the internet, maybe not though, is Julia and Vicious in the original, you have no explanation. You find out nothing about the syndicate. You don't even know Spike's real name. There is a line in the very first episode where he's like, I go by Spike Spiegel now. And where you're like, oh, Spike Spiegel is not this guy's real name. He had another name before this. This gives you everything you never wanted to know. Yeah. And I dislike that choice a lot. And then it ends in a very familiar place. And because they've given you all this new info, it takes a massive left turn to no longer do we give a shit about what you thought you know about Cowboy Bebop. It's all going to be new from here on out, except for Radical Ed, who is not in any of the promo materials. It does show up, and you find out very quickly why they are not in any of the promo materials. Yeah, I don't know. They make a second season, I'll probably watch it, but I feel very similar to this, like I did the first season of The Witcher, which is the concept is more interesting than the execution. And so conceptually, I'll just or Titans. It's like Titans. That's the best comparison. That's it.
Cool.
I watched 8-Bit Christmas, which is HBO Max's new holiday movie about a kid who wants to secure an original Nintendo. Neil Patrick Harris is like the grown-up kid telling the story to his daughter. I don't remember if there's anyone else famous, but it's fine. I think I liked it probably a little more than you guys would, because I liked the subject matter. It kind of was nostalgic. I remember, like there's this one kid who's rich in the neighborhood who has like a Nintendo, And that reminded me of like, there was one kid who had a Nintendo 64 and he was like the coolest kid because we would go over and play it. It's definitely very 80s, but if you're looking for like a Christmas, movie, Steve Zahn's in it too as the kids, Neil Patrick Harris is a kid, his dad. It's fun. I thought it was good. Better than Transformers. We watched, me and Susie watched Ted Lasso. So I don't know if you want to talk about that. If you want to do a Ted Lasso episode, that show I think is good. I think you guys probably raised my expectations a little too high. I don't think it doesn't reinvent the wheel. I think it's good, but I don't think it's like the best thing I've ever sin. But definitely I'll keep watching it. There's a Christmas episode on Ted Lasso on the second season that's like definitely my favorite one. Thought that was a really good episode. Nate, hate Nate. And I like Coach. I like that Coach Beard episode too. It was so random, and Susie hated it, but I thought that was probably like the coolest episode.
Val also hated it.
It cracked me the fuck up. It was just so out of left field, like as they dropped it in the middle of the season. But I thought that was cool too. Like I said, it's a good show. I think you guys just hyped it up like it was the best thing ever on TV, and I don't think I got that out of it, but I did like it. And then I watched Red Notice. I was a little higher on it than Jones. I think that movie's better than Transformers. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but if you like Indiana Jones, National Treasure, if you like heist movies, The Rock and Ryan Reynolds have good chemistry. Gal Gadot's good. It's just a lot of movie stars doing movie star things. They spent a lot of money on it. It feels like a movie that would be in theaters. Like usually Netflix movies feel a little cheap, but they go to like 65 different countries. So I don't know. They definitely put the budget behind it. So I'd recommend watching that. I thought that was fun. And then the last thing is Great British Baking. We've been watching it all season. It's now over.
Do not tell me what happens at the end because I'm in the middle of it.
I won't. No, okay. I won't. Of course. Yeah. It's the best season of Great British Baking. I came on to Great British Baking 3 seasons ago, and this is the best group of bakers since I've come on to it. I can't speak to before that, but like there's literally like 6 bakers that would have won the previous seasons. It's really good. There's a bunch of ones that are really likable. So if you have any interest in getting on the Great British Baking bandwagon, like this would be the season I'd recommend. There's like 4 that are like really, really good. So like towards the end of the season, you have like it's hairs that they're like who's going home. You literally have no idea, and it's really good. So it's delightful. Like the kindness they all show to each other is great. So if you're looking for like a warm your heart kind of show, I'd recommend it. So yeah, that's all I got.
Ian, you talked about Ted Lasso and never mentioned Roy Kent, which makes me think you didn't actually watch Ted Lasso.
Right.
Roy Kent, no, Susie, that's her favorite person, and I love Roy Kent. And his thing with Keely's great. I like Jamie Tart though. I don't know, like the show is really, really good. It is.
It's funny, Ian. I wanted you to like Jamie Tart because you like Pete on Mad Men.
Yep. Yeah, and they're very similar.
To be your guy in shows.
Yeah. And Jamie Tart, like when he's nice in the second season, like I'm like, I like Jamie. You know what I mean? But then he does tell Keely that he loves her, and he's kind of an asshole. But Roy is a great guy. Like, he literally his girlfriend gets told she loves her by another guy and kissed, and he like just as cool. And him with his niece, like I said, I really like the show. I just think my expectations were way too high from you guys. I think that was probably what killed it for me.
Well, at least you hated Nate. That's what's important.
Yeah, Nate.
Fuck Nate. I hate Nate worse than any screen villain ever. He's the worst.
That monologue Nate tells Ted at the end, like, oh my God, like he's just such a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like he's so on the wrong side of the fence and doesn't know it. So
it's just great because it's such a show about like forgiveness and giving people a second chance and giving them the chance to prove themselves. And Ted gives him the chance and he says, no.
Fuck you.
That's that is so cold. I hate him.
I feel like you didn't pick up the message of this show.
Did you guys know that was an SNL skit that he just like turned into a show?
I did not know.
I knew it was a commercial. I didn't know it was an SNL skit first.
I know he did. I thought it was like
maybe it was a commercial.
It was an NBC Sports SNL thing.
Yeah. It was like, and he just like worked it out. But yeah, some of his like one-liners are fucking hilarious. Like The one where he's like, I like my water like Kyrie Irving likes my earth flat, just cracked me. And like Susan didn't even get it. You know what I mean? Like there's certain inside jokes that like are just so funny. Like, I don't know. It is a good show.
Yeah, I actually rewatched it again as well. It's the third time I've watched it this year. It's incredible. I love it.
I don't know if you want to do a Ted Lasso episode, but I'd be all for it.
Hurt.
All right, Hurt.
All right. Oh man, I watched a bunch of shit too.
Oh god damn it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go real quick though. So quick. Okay, so I rewatched Shang-Chi. The reason I want to bring that up is because the first time I watched Shang-Chi, I watched it alone. And that was the wrong movie to watch without Sarah. I really had it built up what I wanted that movie to be, and when it wasn't that, I was disappointed. But watching it with someone with no expectations, I could appreciate it for what it was, and I had a blast. I had originally given it a tentative better than Transformers. I'm moving it to enthusiastic better than Transformers. This week, one of my favorite bands on earth, who I've reviewed multiple of their albums on this podcast, The Darkness, put out a new record. And like all their records, it is fucking awesome. This one is particularly awesome. It's so good. I can't stand it. It's driving me fucking nuts. I can't stop listening to it. It's so much fun. Also, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. The fact that the Darkness isn't the biggest band on Earth is a problem with Earth, not the Darkness. Also their singer Justin Hawkins. I've said before, if this guy decided to just stop rocking and go into comedy, he would fucking kill. He's hilarious. He started a YouTube channel where he basically just talks about and criticizes pop music and stuff like that. And it's fucking hilarious. But there's one episode I wanted to talk about particularly okay, Jones, I'm remembering this right. You're a Led Zeppelin super fan, right?
Yeah, man. Love them.
Okay. So as a Led Zeppelin super fan and an all-around decent person, you probably kind of hate Greta Van Fleet, right?
Listen, I cannot get on board.
Right.
I wouldn't say hate. I just avoid it.
You should look up his episode on Greta Van Fleet because he does such a nice, and by nice, I mean genuinely nice, takedown of that band. It's like a kindly uncle sitting them down and saying, look, guys, here's how you could not suck. And it's really, really worth checking out. It's really fucking funny.
I do have a question for you, Hurt.
Okay.
Did you watch any of Get Back?
I didn't. I haven't watched any of that shit yet. Have you?
I watched the first one. It's 9 hours long.
Right.
I only watched the first one, but so I was waiting until it was done, or if you had watched it, I would have talked a little bit. But I'll hold my thoughts.
I'll probably have it watched next time.
All I'll say one thing about it, which is I don't know what the fuck big deal with Yoko Ono is, because that's so much just lead singer's girlfriend just being present. Which, if you've been in a band, fucking happens all the time. Some dude is banging a girl that he just brings everywhere, and you just have to be okay with it. And that's all Yoko was. I don't think she broke up the band. I don't know. Let's see if it gets worse. But part one, she's just present.
Right. Okay, I remember what the last thing I want to talk about. This is the last thing I'll harp on. For years, America's had a problem, and that problem is Joe Rogan has the #1 podcast in America, and Joe Rogan's never been funny for a second. Not just because he became a hero for being a pussy about needles, but he's just never been funny. So a right has been wronged, or wrong has been right, whatever. The guys from Sunny started a podcast, and now it's the #1 podcast in the world. And it is fucking great. I've talked about before on here, I love watching like shows learn how to make a show. At this point in it, they're talking about the first season, and they're very much talking about them learning how to do that show. But also while they're doing it, they're learning how to do a podcast, and it's fucking hilarious. Cannot recommend how funny this shit is a lot. I mean, there's so kind of clueless about podcasts that at one point in the first episode, Charlie Day is like, hey man, you've got a mixer. And I was like, man, Nips has a mixer. Like, you're surprised that your buddy who's ran a TV show for 15 fucking years has a mixer? I don't know. I just thought that was cool. But yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, the It's Always Sunny podcast, fucking rules. That's it. That's all I got.
Cool. I will check that out. That sounds interesting. Look, I don't remember what I've seen since the last time we talked. It's mostly anime. The fall season is wrapping up, and I do want to talk about my top things that I'm watching, but I'm going to save that until we're a little closer to the end. In the meantime, I've also been watching the Great British Baking Show. I think we're on episode 5 or 6, and I haven't made it to the end yet, but so far I can agree with Ian's assessment. There's always a couple that are going pretty early, but there are, I'd say about 6 that I'm like, they all seem very close in level to me, and I don't know who's going to go next. So, it's similar to Ted Lasso energy. It's a warm blanket and a cup of hot chocolate of a TV show. And
I didn't interrupt Ian for this, but I didn't interrupt you. There wasn't any point when you guys were watching this one that this was the first time for me it really felt like a reality show.
Not so far. I mean, so ever since the Netflix switch, they've leaned a little bit more than they used to into like the reality tropes, but I haven't felt it more this season than the other Netflix seasons.
Well, let me ask you this: how far into it are you?
5.
Okay, I think when it really hit me was, and I won't say who, but the person who's eliminated right before the finals, I feel like was eliminated not because he was doing the worst, but because he was doing the best, and it was a shocking reality show moment. But go ahead. Sorry.
That is one of the things that cracks me up about the Great British Baking Show, because it is such like a generally like kind, non-dramatic type of competition show. The fan base is so fucking violent on the internet when they think that there is something that has happened that is unscrupulous in any way, even if it's not, even if they just perceive it that way. It's just funny to me that people get so mad about this show that's so cozy. It's just,
dude, have you read any of the shit they say about that alopecia guy?
Oh,
man, he is not liked.
I mean, look, neither one of those guys have ever been funny.
I hard disagree. Noel fucking rules.
God,
I'll come to your house and fight you over Noel.
That's fine. we can do that. Anyway, Great British Baking Show. It's a good show. That apparently is inspiring a lot of violence I wasn't expecting.
I just threatened to punch you over it.
I know it. That's what I'm saying. And the only other thing I watched, the wife and I watched Michael Che's new stand-up special on Netflix, which is good. I like him on Update. I like him and Jost have found their groove, I feel like, the last year or two. And I think it's a good special, and I didn't mean for this to be a shit on Dave Chappelle episode, but here it is. I feel like Michael Che is doing the comedy that Dave Chappelle thinks that he's doing, and that's it.
I haven't watched Dave Chappelle's new special, so I can't comment on whether that's true or not, but it was well structured.
Thank you. And I think that's it. Is something not coming out next week? Do we know? No? Guess not.
Ted Lasso next week.
We can do Ted Lasso next week.
Spider-Man's the week after, nothing next week.
It's the opposite of timely.
Yeah, let's
so
get
it's on brand for this fucking podcast.
Let's do Ted Lasso 3 months after the last episode.
Just in time for a rewatch, huh?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
it is a very holiday-y show, so I guess there's a theme.
That is fair. All right, well, that's it for this week. Thanks everybody for listening and hanging with us for our weird release schedules. Please rate, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast. You can reach us at realphonies@gmail.com. Tell us what you think about Ghostbusters. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, Real Phonies, on Instagram, Real_Phonies. Thanks to Zach Evans for art and Brian Velasquez for our theme. We'll see you guys later.
Later.